Hi, if you're a Capricorn born December 22nd to January 19th, what can you expect for the month of January 2016? Let's tune in and find out. Wow. Well, okay, so Capricorns, you come out of the gate swinging. Like you're in the ring, you're ready to go. You're making punches. I see you bopping and weaving. You're really doing a good job in being able to get what you want out of life, and you're in there working for it. And some of us like to know there's times when we can ease into something, and then there's times when you just have to get in there and you have to slug it out. And that's what January feels like for you. It's like you're actually in there doing the work, what's necessary. But I see you winning. Like I see you being able to, to duck and to be able to not get hurt in the process, and really being able to create what it is you want to create. So we start out the month with Mercury being retrograde, or beginning to be retrograde. We start in the shadow period January 1st, and then January 5th it goes retrograde, and then it doesn't go direct until January 25th. So that's 3 solid weeks of redoing, rethinking, recreating, which is really not that bad in January, right? Because most of us are conditioned to kind of start over, or to kind of rethink about the way we want to process the next 12 months, right? So it's a perfect time, if you have to have a retrograde, to actually redo and to restart. So you always want to make sure that your communication is clear, and you want to double and triple check communication. And of course, we've all been trained now to know that our communication goes a little haywire, especially with our electronics. Now, specifically for Capricorns, you may notice things with your vehicles. You may notice things, especially with your car. And also showing me timepieces like watches and phones being a little more challenging than some of your other equipment. Now, also for you Capricorns, the good news is that there is a big creative, like Einstein, light bulb moment over your head. Like you're going to get a lot of creative energy and a lot of great ideas for you this month that you're going to be able to implement, and just showing me like you are lit up. You're lit up with ideas. You're lit up in action. You're lit up in sort of on fire with what you need to do for the month. So it's really inspiring. I love the energy, because I really feel like you guys are open and you're ready for anything. And you've got big ideas. And here's the good news is you don't have to wait for anybody. You're in charge. You're in control. You're implementing, and you're the one who's going to get it done. So that's really awesome, because nothing stands in the way, and it's all you. So whatever ideas you have, do your research on them, and then get moving. Start to, clear the channels out so that you can actually take action. Now, astrology is designed actually just to kind of help us see what's going on, what the universe is going to throw at us. And then we have a spiritual connection that allows us to actually rise above the chart, right? To actually not allow some of these things to hold us back or to get in our way. But in order to rise above these aspects, we have to really remain connected to that part of ourselves, the creator consciousness that allows us to kind of override these things. But we know that during these times, it's a little more difficult to start forward. It's a little more difficult to, to really get above the communications or the challenges, but it can be done. You just have to double and triple check information and make sure that, if you have to sign any contracts, that you make sure that everything is double and triple checked. And of course, if there's something that you've already started prior to January 1st, then it's fine generally to sign because you've already started it. But if you can wait, it's always suggested on signing any contracts that you wait until after Mercury goes direct, which would be January 25th. Okay, so let's see what is in store for your relationships, Capricorn. For those of you in a committed relationship, let's start with that. So there is a real partnership that's happening with you and your partner, for your romantic partners, a real excitement and fortitude. And I really see you guys together, like really together, really focused, and really know what you're doing. So you're going to have a really good month. And there's also a sense of interdependence. So you each are together focusing on the same thing, but one of you, may get tripped up, but the other one's free to go on because there's a certainty in knowing they're going to catch up. It's okay. So there's a real freedom in being able to move forward and not have to wait for your partner. There's other times where we are forced to wait. There's something going on with our partner and we have to help them. I don't see that at all. I really see this real strong independent streak where you're just permission to go forward and make it handle whatever life is bringing at you. And the relationship is going to be intact, strong, and solid. So that's really good. Now, for those of you that are single and are looking for a relationship, let's see how that looks up for you. Okay, there's some of you are in a new relationship right now and that has previously started, and you're going to see that in these couple of weeks in January, it's just a really nice getting to know you phase and understanding one another, which is really good. And it feels like it's very sweet. It feels like a very sweet time. Now, for those of you that are not yet in a relationship, let's look and see for you. It really feels like, it really feels like it's the kind of thing where you meet somebody and you have a great weekend and never hear from them again. And some of you may go, great, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So if you're looking for that 2 or 3 day, night stand, that quick getaway, this is your month, right? There's going to be people that that will appear and then just disappear, and some who may reappear, right? Because we always know that retrogrades always bring people back into our life. So some of you may have visits from old boyfriends or old flames that you haven't heard from in a decade, and all of a sudden they resurface. So just be aware that they may come up again, and most likely they were in the past for a reason. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's probably just a fling, and I would not anticipate you having any new relationships that show up. If you do, they feel temporary, maybe 3 months at the most. They don't feel longer than that. They feel like they'll fizzle out. So it's okay. It's 3 months worth of fun if that's what you're looking for. So it just feels like temporary fulfillment, whatever you find for new relationships in January. Okay, let's look at your career and money for Capricorns. A lot of money coming in, a lot of positive money for you in January. There may also be a big bill that's presented to you around the 10th. This bill doesn't necessarily have to be paid. It feels like it is something that you can negotiate with. It feels like it's something that there is negotiation around this bill, and it could be even the form of the way in which you pay it, or it could be the bill itself that somebody's willing to take a 20% discount for cash now, right? Or, so you're presented with a big bill, and it's like, I can't pay the whole thing, or if if I give you cash, will you discount it for me, or will you break it down in, payments over 3 years, that kind of thing. So it feels like you're presented with a big bill around the 10th, you're able to handle it, and you're even able to negotiate it down or negotiate it with terms that feel good to you or that work with you. Some of you may get some stock tips or tips that are insider tips. It feels more towards the end of the month. That could be good. That could be really something that is positive for you. And it feels safe. It doesn't feel get quick rich at all. It just feels like that's a good place to put my money. It's a good place for me to build wealth. And I think I'll do that. So it feels like at the end of the month, you're going to get some solid information about wealth building that comes in that last week of January. Okay. Let's look at your health, Capricorns. Showing me the face. So some of you may be dealing with, anything from sunspots to precancerous things on your face, to acne breakouts, to psoriasis, to, razor burn, to, frostbite, God forbid, sunburn. They're just showing me your face being very sensitive. And a lot of times the face also has to do with embarrassment or shame or not feeling good enough, right? So just be aware that you want to take extra care of your face this month. If you're in the sun, put on sunscreen, or the wind, you really want to protect your face. Your face is is coming up this month as needing extra protection. So make sure whatever you're doing that you actually apply sunscreen so you don't get windburn if you're out in the cold, or sunburn if you're in the summer. And so it's really important for you guys, because I do feel like you can do some severe damage to your face. And now let's see if there's anything else about your health. Vitamin C is also coming up. Vitamin C, of course, water always is a good thing. But additional vitamin C, you may want to take on some additional vitamin C and D. Some of you are going to be working really hard, playing really hard this month. And so you just want to keep your immune system intact and ready to go. Now, anything unexpected for Capricorns this month? Yeah, some of you may get a surprise visitor around the new moon. The new moon is January 9th in Capricorn. And for some of you, you may meet somebody new, as well as a surprise visitor may show up for you around that new moon. And new moons also bring in new opportunities. And this opportunity may be around it feels like an opportunity for you, as something that you carry yourself forward with. So maybe something that you discover on your own that has you move forward with that new moon opportunity. But also an opportunity that maybe a drop-in visitor or somebody that you haven't seen in a long time from your past may show up unexpectedly around that new moon for you as well. We're going to have a full moon on January 23rd in Leo. That feels a little feisty, that energy around the 23rd. It feels a little intense. It may not be affecting you, but it may be affecting a colleague or one of your family members. And all you can do with that new moon, for that full moon rather, for them, is just kind of like stay out of the way. Just stay out of the way. Let them figure it out on their own. It sort of feels like putting your hand in an electrical socket, right? You just don't want to do that. Just kind of let them be self-contained. I don't feel like it's so much affecting you as it's around you, right? So you just want to be aware of that full moon has some really intense energy with it. Now for you, there may also be some resolutions coming in for you that have to do with business partnerships and understanding with business partnerships. There may be some irritation this month with partnerships in business that you've been connected to, miscommunications, misunderstandings. They feel like by the end of the month, they start to get cleared up. But it does feel like there's a lot of the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing in January, and a little frustration around the misunderstandings. And some of it is your misunderstanding as well. It's not completely somebody else. It is a combination of things that have happened where there's misunderstanding. So you want to be careful about not pointing fingers or laying blame or really being too intense with, who said what, or she said what, or he said that. Because it feels like nobody has the story straight, okay? Not even you. So is what I'm being shown. So just to have an awareness that there's some culpability with everybody, and it feels like by the end of January, early February, by the new moon in early February, it feels cleaned up, worked out in a very solution-oriented manner, so that everybody knows what's going on and everything is copacetic, right? So whatever the challenges are with your work environment and miscommunication, they get ironed out by early February. So just don't stress too much about that. Okay, Capricorns, you guys are going to have a really busy month. Travel is also coming up. And I'm not really seeing a problem with your travel, which is really nice. But, we always want to leave extra time with our travel. There may be more confusion around rental cars or that sort of, or hotel accommodations, not so much with your travel itself, but on the ancillary things like rental cars and hotels. Double and triple check those things. Or if you're going to a convention, make sure that, you're signed up. Like things like that feels like could get lost in the shredder, all right? So you want to pay attention to those things. But I feel like as far as like your air travel or your, I feel like that's okay. I feel like it's the ancillary things where you could have some problems in January. All right, Capricorns, have an amazing month. You are going to be so busy. You're on the go. There's a lot happening. You've got a lot of good energy to inject this month, and people are listening. I see people leaning in and like what? You know, so they really want to hear what you have to say. And so you want to be very clear with what you're saying. You want to have a clear outcome of what you want to make happen, because the clearer you can become going into this month is going to be able to carry you through the new year, right? So we have an energy of moving forward, and you're going to have 2 or 3 weeks here where you can kind of change your mind, redo, rethink, recalculate, right? Before you really kind of set everything in stone for the rest of the year. So the clearer you can be, the sooner in January, the better result you're going to have at the end of the month. There'll be less to undo. And like I said, people really want to hear what you have to say. So that's an amazing place to be in, where people are looking to you to lead them, to guide them, and to have clarity. So, all right, Capricorns, have an amazing month. I look forward to connecting with you again next month. And I wish you nothing but the best in 2016. Much prosperity, joy, and happiness and love to you and your loved ones. Happy New Year.